striking resemblance between their massive stone platforms. They've been built in the same purpose, to support the weight of spacecraft.
Hopefully, at one point, archaeology will be so minded that they actually want to explore this further.
We may never get the answer, but at least trying to find out what happened, I think is what drives all of us. If otherworldly forces really descend from the heavens at the world's holiest places, it may be that the world's faithful already know the truth, or perhaps the truth will be withheld until someday in the future. Centuries.
Dozens of people have risked their life trying to find what Apatiti is.
Treasures hidden deep underwater. The local people told me not simply that the ships fly over the lake, but they actually enter the lake, and secret chambers buried under the great Egyptian Sphinx.
Gold was a section to go. Egypt had probably the best supply of gold in the ancient world.
Since the dawn of time, humans have been obsessed with legends of hidden gold. But one of our desire for this precious metal is about something more than riches.
It almost seems as if we're genetically programmed to love gold.
Ultimately, gold represents our connection with the stars.
A number of researchers have suggested ancient aliens and conjurers primarily to mine black.
Millions of people around the world believe we've been visited from the past by extraterrestrial beings. What if it were true? Did ancient aliens really help to shape our history? And if so, would they have come here in search of gold? 16th century has been read legends about the place of untold riches somewhere in South America. Yet to this day, gains little step. But such a magnificent place that does exist is it exposed for centuries. South Lake, the answer lies within this mysterious lake. Certain overall developed fall the lake of Alameda that was within the territory of when we started our show, which was a chieftain. What class of fiction is secrets, or as the archetypes, like the chieftain of the civilization itself, at hand or bottom. Territory was known as the Citadel. The conquistadors who arrived there in the 16th century called him El Dorado, Spanish for the Golden One. They gave him this name after observing Moses' most secret ritual. The Zippo was put out blocking the barge in the middle of Lake Guinea to make offerings of gold to a god believed to live at the bottom of the lake. It was said that the chief adorned resident of the gold dust would jump into the water under the rest to the lake, and that lake makes the church the sacrifices fall into that particular lake. And from that came the belief of Alvarado around Colombia. Excavation of Lake Columbia was led by British engineer Hartley Knowles. Knowles reported that he recovered around $20,000 worth of treasure, including golden artifacts. We also believe much more underneath the Heartflake bed could Knowles find the evidence that the story of the Boy Chief is based on truth. If so, just
The summer suits real savers are back. Which favorite will you fan over?
I think I'm going to try and start a album that we're going to my name's Giovanni Ucciona. That's Monica. That's the DJ. So I'm making videos on my internet. I'm constantly doing something on the Cash App fits into like my lifestyle by making sure I can be on top of finances, saving money and making sure it's not having savings because it's already daddy, don't have to like stress about it. You know, to make room in my mind for everything that's in it.
Suspect keeping a giant pack with vitamins and minerals, like butter and soup, or no better, and a good source of vitamin D. But they said the perfect fruit doesn't exist.
These conscious people, if so, just who, what is the so-called God who dwells at the top of the lake? Researchers have suggested that the aliens that conjure primarily to light them. Several oxygen suggested that these extraterrestrial vehicles could suspend in their atmosphere, serve as planet. It's not something that's really important to space exploration to astronomy. She is very important reason why it's small. It was like another picture is the explainer of anything. The other thing is great. It is a far interesting and last but not least is the fact that all it is a perfect reflector of infrared energy. You can use packets to detect against the intense heat of star and insert heat cells. This is very rare and valuable element of the universe. Such a thing be possible. According to ancient astronaut parents, it is not only possible, but they claim the proof exists in the numerous texts and religions of the ancient world, like that of a legendary Indian city of Haiti, thought to be located near the southeastern area of Germany. The conquistador became what says monuments in this later in the city of in the jungles of eastern Rome somewhere. All that region was too good for all the city. Stories of my J.D. Eldorado to the inspirations to probably Eldorado and Chidi are confused. I see Eldorado as being that particular role producing site that was in South America, and Chidi having been another civilization contemporaneous with the Incas in the area. putting yet to be definitively wrong, and that's what the agreement with installation contract is.
Since 1984, American explorer Gregory Parmentier and his Peruvian counterpart, Calvin Murray, have staged more than 15 expeditions in search of this mythical city of Rome.
Stall, beating, towards what is supposed to be as legendary, which he gets a moving fall. You see that Pachamama, the earth gods, covers these areas, such difficult, the loss, the jump on, the rivers, that something could be hidden forever.
Their search began in Cuzco, at the Incan holy place Coricancha, which means golden courtyard. In 1559, Spanish conquistadors tore down Coricancha to construct the Cathedral San Domingo, and it still sits in the center of Cuzco today, surrounded by the ruins of the ancient Incan temple. The cathedral features an enormous altar carved in gold. Conquistadors, it pales in comparison to the magnificent Coricancha, which was not only filled with gold statues, but was also covered in sheets of solid gold. Gold wasn't found in the Inca because it was the sweat of the sun. The sun was the highest being of the Inca at that point. Sweat the sun represented the most sacred possession of energy. Ancient astronaut theorists believe a woven sign called the Ponchal that once resided in Coricancha may provide evidence that extraterrestrials had contact with the Inca. Coricancha was famous for its gigantic golden disc that the ancient Inca ship. That was a symbol of a giant disc that allegedly landed in the sky in front of the economy. And he had direct contact, according to the legends, with the sky gods. Giant golden disc that once resided inside. If you could ask one question, what would you ask? Good name today. Good name tonight. Will there be peace this year? Can we predict the future? We don't never stop asking, but things in my hands. Venture on bench.
At what point time is API financing on select new Subaru Crosstrek models? Okay, but now we time.
That's obviously you can start the business models that are considered. AI solutions from PwC.
Take that shot by any chance?
Yes. Listening to us as you chat it, taking the alter head. Conventionally, slipping the purpose of self analytic flat higher per day. Over that's the return hours get cut. It's saying that's not has very much help me for sure. You can get like more interest. Putting in the work in $30. If there's that pounds that they like, once they throw it, we'll take it direction. So when I need it, it's just there. And stay well. Darker gyres take care of the best folks. Russian validated reviews and less scratch rate risks. Also with various size versions and lots of